And that was Good Charlotte there with their song I Don't Want to Be in Love. Now we've got a special guest on the radio at the moment. We've got an interview with a young man called Richard Underwater. He's had an accident recently and unfortunately has been left paralysed. Now, this is a traumatic event, obviously, and we just want to be able to try and help out Richard where we can by giving him some airtime to tell us what's actually happening. And Richard, welcome. Hello, Richard, are you there? Yeah, Richard, can you hear me now? Oh, there you go. We've got you now. Technical difficulties from my end. We just had the producer come in and put me right. So, what's going on?
Mike, how are you doing?
Well, I'm fine, thank you very much. We do interviews with various people and organisations to allow them to have a platform to raise awareness of issues. It might be personal issues, it might be community issues, but in this particular instance, it's personal and family issues. So can you just give us a brief rundown as to what actually happened and how you got to where you are?
Yeah, well, it was all quite sudden. I was up in Northam just helping a friend do some work on their house.
Yeah.
And I worked all day up on the roof, probably been back and forth about 15 times, up and down, and packed up all my tools. It was the last sort of, I was all finished the job and walking back, and suddenly I was on the ground and laying there and couldn't move my legs.
Yeah, right. Wow.
So not quite sure what happened, but I was told there was a skylight there that I may have fallen through, but I had no idea.
Of course, exactly. It'll have just gone so quickly as well. So.
All I remember was walking on the roof, and the next thing I know, I was on the ground. So.
Yeah. And who was on site with you at the time?
Yeah, so it was sort of a work bee. So my wife was up there with me. We had the camper up there. We were going to spend the night, and the lady that owned the house, her sister, her mother. So there was a few people there.
Yeah, wow.
And pretty much one of the ladies, don't remember her name right now, but she just grabbed me, and when I was laying on the ground, and she pretty much just she knew right away there was something wrong, and she just held me in her arms so I wouldn't touch the ground till the ambulance came.
Yeah,
so
of course.
She wasn't very big, and I'm fairly heavy, so
right.
I was pretty.
Yeah, and being out in Northam, it must have taken a little bit of time for the emergency services to get there. Was it quite quick? You had to get to Perth?
No, we were right in town, so the ambulance took probably about 10 minutes, and they had to look at me and called another ambulance.
Yeah.
Like I was conscious, so I heard they were talking about getting the helicopter, and then one of the drivers said, "Well, I can probably get him to Royal Perth quicker than a helicopter can." So we went. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So it was quite a ride to Perth.
Yeah, I can imagine. And did your good lady manage to ride along with you?
No, I was by myself with the paramedic, and he was giving me drugs as much as he could, and just trying to, I was in quite a bit of pain. So
yeah, I can imagine.
He was doing a good job there, and got me to Royal Perth in record time.
Yeah. So at the minute you're still in Royal Perth now, is that right?
No, I was in Royal Perth for probably 1 month to get stabilized, and now I'm in Fiona Stanley Hospital. So
right. Okay.
I've been in the hospital for 100 days yesterday.
100 days, yeah. These are the kind of anniversaries you don't really want to have to remember, right?
Yeah. It takes time. It takes people don't realize how long it takes, but pretty much probably 3 weeks to treat the injury, and then now I'm in rehab. So pretty
So-
much teaching me how to function and
Yeah, of
trying
course.
to get some movement back. Yeah.
So when it comes down to the movement side, have you managed to get anything in the 100 days up to now, or is that it? What's been the prognosis?
So the injury was pretty severe. The surgeon told me that I had severed nerves and frayed nerves in my spinal cord, and I wasn't expecting to get much feeling below the waist.
Yeah.
But just the last few weeks I've been having good movement in my left leg, like no strength,
right,
but
okay,
good movement. So
Yeah.
I'm really happy about that. It's a bit of a miracle, really.
Yeah, exactly. I think, and these are the miracles you cling on to take you forward, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Like totally unexpected on my part,
Mhm.
but I'm so grateful. Like any gain, any extra movement right now is just a gift. You know what
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right. So, I mean, when you, you're obviously immobile. You're being cared for by the specialist, I would imagine. Are you in the spinal ward, or is that where you are?
Yeah. We've got 31 guys, mainly guys up here.
Yeah.
31 people up here in the spinal unit. Yeah,
Yeah,
and then,
right,
so
wow.
they pretty much take care of us. Yeah.
Yeah, you got your own little club going on.
Yeah, and I'm one of the better ones.
Yeah, and I understand what you're saying. And we just did an interview with a lady earlier there, and we were talking about, you think that you're in a bad place, and then all of a sudden somebody comes along with something that just brings all reality back. But regardless, I mean, you're still it's a hell of a situation to be in when you've been a fully functioning person. Yeah, like as you said, you got your camper van as well. Never mind anything else.
Well, that's right. It's for me, it's huge. Like, it was quite overwhelming. I mean,
Yeah.
Obviously it's a lot of psychological work on my part and everybody's part to get your head around it. But
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. It's that on the other hand, it's I don't know. There's a whole other world out here, that I was unaware of.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And now I'm part of it. So
Yeah.
I'm part of a group of people now that that are all in the same boat, like a community.
Yeah. It's incredible as well to talk to you, because it's that community that needs a voice.
Well, that's right. Yeah, and I was totally, well, not unaware, but in a way I was unaware of this whole other side of life.
Yeah.
Especially, I've been doing a lot of thinking. I've been in hospital for 100 days, and this whole realm of pain and suffering that's actually part of our society, we don't really acknowledge it as much as, say, in some other countries that are less fortunate than we are.
That's exactly right.
It's quite the eye opener when you're part of it.
Yeah, of course.
And
So
I've experienced a bit of it.
Yeah, for sure. And how about your family? Because obviously it's been a huge traumatic experience for them as well.
Well, that's right. Yeah, but my family's just been so. For one, they've been so supportive.
Yeah.
And they're handling. I mean, as far as I can tell, they're all handling it very well. But it's brought the family close together as well.
Yeah, of course.
When something like this happens, I mean, everybody's pretty much, willing to help, and they're visiting me. And I mean, my boy was in Canada, and he's back now, and everybody's together. So it's actually brought the family pretty close together. Yeah.
Yeah, you would wish it was under different circumstances, obviously, but
I've seen more of them. I've seen more of them in the last 100 days than I have in the last 4 years. So.
Yeah, that's it.
Been great.
And you mentioned about your son. That'll be Tyrell, is that right?
Maxwell is his name. Yeah.
Oh, Maxwell. Sorry.
I've got 3 sons. Yeah, I've got Tyrell. He's the one that started my GoFundMe.
Yeah, and that's where I was going to go with that. So he set up the GoFund page.
Yeah. So, and that's been pretty incredible. I mean, I've got, because obviously we've got a bit of a change of circumstances. So
of course.
He said, Dad, well, I'm going to set up a GoFundMe page. And I said, well, I'm not even really sure what that is.
Yeah.
But, so he's, we'd like to buy, a few things. So, to get it through.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's just been incredible. I mean, people that I don't even, a lot of friends that I do know, but
yeah,
a lot of people I don't know have just been putting in money. My son's friends and my daughter's friends, and people in the community. It's just been crazy. I think
that's it.
last time I checked, it's nearly up to $30,000.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
And,
pretty special.
well, yeah, it is special, and it shows you're
people,
standing there as well. So you're standing
a lot
in
of
the
good
community.
people in
So
the world, a
yes,
lot of good
exactly.
people in the world. So, and I think like Terrell said to me, because I was kind of hemming him. So he said, this is just giving them an opportunity to do something that they'd like to do. And when you're on this end of the receiving end of something like this, I mean, you don't want to be too proud. And, I'm accepting all the help I can get.
Yeah,
and it's taken me a bit to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
But, there's people out there that genuinely want to help. And so why not let them?
Yeah, that's right. It's quite humbling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit humbling,
But I think you just hit the nail on the head there, Richard, right? You've got to be in a position where emotionally you're ready to accept it. Yeah. Because it's not a bad thing to accept the help. It's a good thing. And the very fact that you've been able to embrace that is kudos to you, mate. Also to your family. You're right about the GoFundMe page. Nobody ever thinks they're going to have to raise a GoFundMe page, and then all of a sudden something like this happens. So, as you said, the community, family, friends, all getting together. I know it's interesting what you said there. You needed to get a few things. I mean, these are things which are going to be required to help you with your normal everyday life.
Well, that's right. Yeah. The government does provide, I haven't really investigated it too much, but they've got what's called the National Disability Scheme.
Yeah, that's right.
So they'll provide like medicine and, I'm not aware of everything that they provide, but anything like vehicle modifications, wheelchairs, things like that. Yeah. But then, there's things that I guess that I'd like to have as well, like a vehicle and a bed and, things for the home and stuff that they don't provide. So,
yeah, of course.
I'm not really aware of all the funding, but I do know there is some available through that disability scheme as well.
That's right, and when you look at the likes of your doorway frames, they have to be wide enough for a wheelchair to get through. If you have front door access and back door access, if you've got a built-up front step, it's got to be modified. All of these things have to be taken into account as well. Yeah.
Exactly right, and one of the big things is the bed, right? Because, to get into bed with the wheelchair, you'd like the bed to be a little bit lower, and then when you like to get out into the wheelchair, out of bed, then you'd like it to be a bit higher.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You need to tilt the bed to drain your feet, and so the bed's a pretty important thing as well. Yeah.
Well, like I said, I mean, the very fact that it was such a I don't want to call it a bizarre incident. It was just one of those things. The very last, you're almost at the point whereby you're finishing the job, you're coming down, probably thinking about having a beer or a glass of wine or something, and the next thing you are where you are. It's a traumatic time, and like I said, the very fact that your family and friends have rallied around so quickly and so well is fantastic.
Well, that's right, and I'm really grateful for that. And even the medical, I've got to put in a good word for the. A lot of people rag the medical system in WA, but since the accident happened, it's been all good. Like there's been with surgery. Like when I got to Royal Perth Hospital, the top surgeon in Perth was waiting for me. Yeah. They were all ready, put me on the x-ray table. They were operated on me like within half an hour. Wow. Did an 8-hour operation on a Friday night, and it's been excellent. All the screws are nice and straight. They've got rods in my back. They did a perfect job. Yeah. And the nurses, I've got to say, the nurses in these hospitals, there's not enough nurses in the hospitals, but they do a fantastic job.
Yeah, no, that's right.
And they do things for me that I won't mention on the radio. But I mean, it's not all fun and games. It's not all you know.
Well, that's exactly right.
And it's just unbelievable, you know. They come in on the weekends. They're double shifting even sometimes. You know, it's just incredible. So I've got to take my hat off to the health system in WA.
For sure. I think, it's funny what you're saying is the nurses don't get enough credit, do they?
No, they don't. No. The nurses are the backbone of the whole operation. You know, to me, they do. You know, they're the ones that take care of me on a day-to-day basis. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're the unsung heroes as far as I'm concerned.
And at the beginning, I mean, I was helpless. You know, I mean, I came out of the operating room. I was helpless. You know, pretty much they just had to do everything for me for a month. You know.
Yeah, of course.
And it wasn't all pleasant.
No, that's exactly it. And this is what we were saying before about you having to accept it, right? Because you can get, you could be embarrassed by it or whatever, and maybe you still are, but you still got to accept it because it's just the way that it's going to be for a while. That's all.
Well, exactly right. Yeah, you've got to. I don't know. It's all a mental game, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know,
of course it is.
At the end of the day, you know, you pretty much have to accept your condition, and you know, I think I have sort of accepted what's happened, but there's a lot of, you know, when you think of somebody with a spinal injury, there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. It's not just somebody in a wheelchair. You know, they've got a lot of other issues in the background that they're dealing with. You know, physical issues on a day-to-day basis when it comes to whether it's going to the toilet or whether it's not combating like a lot of illness, and you know, it's not just the fact that they can't walk. There's a lot more.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's also the fact that you know, yes, you're paralyzed from the waist down at the moment, but that doesn't mean it's the only thing that's ever going to be wrong with you. So you've got to be aware of the fact that you still got to remain as healthy as possible.
Exactly right. And you know, my advice to people would be, right, be as healthy as you can before the accident. Yeah. Because that's going to help. Yeah. And then after the accident, you've got to be twice as healthy.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great mantra.
Yeah. Definitely have to take care of yourself, and you know, you've got to take care and preserve your body as well. You know, and that's what they're teaching me here too. Not just, you know, they're not just treating me, but they're teaching me how to go on in life and how to preserve my shoulders, and you know, make sure that, you know, I'm going to last for a while when I get out of here as well.
Yeah, of course, exactly. And so what's the prognosis now then? I mean, obviously you said you're getting a little bit of feeling in one of your legs, but have they said that is it just a case of wait and see?
Well, yeah, the problem is with spinal injuries, there's never any real definite prognosis, right?
Right, yeah, sure.
Yeah, pretty much your motion's determined by the level of your injury. Yeah. So my injury is an L1, so they can say, okay, if you've got an injury at that level, this is what you can expect, right? Right. Yeah. But there's every case is different, and really even the experts don't know.
Yeah, of course.
But in my case, I'm doing miraculously well. Like, good. You know, the fact that I've got movement in one of my legs and that I've got feeling down to my knees is pretty special.
Yeah, for sure. What we would like to do as well is that, you know, through your journey, if you'd like to come back on the radio at any time and just give an update as to what's happening with your GoFundMe page, how you're managing to cope, if there's anything else you would like to discuss, please do so, because these positive stories that come out of a tragic incident are the aspects that help us with our mental health, and also letting other people know the fact that if you keep your mental health strong, physically you can get stronger as well.
Yeah, and I believe that. You know, I believe, you know, that, you know, if you have a positive attitude, you're just going to heal that much better.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know, and it helps you do the hard work. I mean, everybody that's in my situation is working really hard just to maintain their bodies and to just function. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, exactly. Well, like I said, kudos to you, mate, for going through what you've done, and with your family as well and friends. I would like to just state that I'm going to play a record for you. You put the onus on me to try and find your record, and what I've done is I've found one which I think is apt not just for you, but for you and your family and for your friends. Richard Onderwater, I would just like to thank you for your positive attitude towards all of this. Fiona Stanley Hospital, Royal Perth Hospital, and of course everybody else who's been involved. Again, thank you to those people as well. Is there anything you'd like to finish off with, Richard?
No, I'd just like to thank, I'd like to thank all the caregivers, the doctors and the nurses especially. They really do put in the effort.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, listen, again, thank you for them. And you did say A at the end, so now I know you're Canadian.
Okay.
All right, you take care of yourself. This song is We Are the Champions by Queen for Richard Underwater. Take care.
Thank you.